For the 11th time in 14 years, the Miami Dolphins finished first in the AFC Eastern Division. And on December 31st, 1983, they were poised to ring out the old year on a high note with a playoff win over the Seattle Seahawks. But this was not the same Miami team that won 9 of its last 10 games, their last 5 in a row. Instead, the Dolphin performance on this afternoon had a hollow ring.
Looks right, he fires it, caught by Johnson, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Miami! The Dolphins down by 4 points. Here's the snap to give to Bennett. He's fighting for the goal line, he scored! Tony Bennett into the end zone.
With a 3-point lead late in the game, just when the Dolphins thought a return to the Super Bowl was within their grasp, the Seahawks came back to snatch it away. When the pain of that defeat wears off, when the Dolphins begin looking ahead, they will see the makings of many more championships to come. The name Don Shula is synonymous with success. And in his 14 years as head coach in Miami, he has learned as much from defeat as he has from victory.
There's a quote that I use, I'm not quite sure if it's Churchill, that success isn't final and failure isn't fatal. And if you get beat, you're not dead. You've got the opportunity to get up off the floor and hopefully learn something from the negative experience that you've just gone through that it's going to help you in future competitions. Right now, my thought is today, tomorrow, what's going to happen this year and what's going to happen next year.
The Dolphins opened the '83 season in Buffalo in a game that matched the NFL's 2 best defenses from the year before.
Last foot left. D29.
With 2 interceptions and 6 quarterback sacks, the Dolphin defense shut out the Bills 12-0. But offensively, it was not a productive day. Worse, Miami lost 2 key players with season-ending knee injuries, as both Jimmy Cefalo and Tommy Vigorito, number 32, went down in the first half. Kicker Uwe von Schamann accounted for all of Miami's points with 4 field goals. Win number 1 was in the books. The next week, the Dolphins returned to Miami for their home opener. And on his way to the Orange Bowl, owner Joe Robbie reflected on his years in the National Football League.
I've always said that if you enjoy everything you do, every minute that you're up, you're not working. And in that sense, I'm not working because I enjoy everything about being in professional football. I think we're some of the luckiest people on earth, and so are our players. And I think we ought to represent ourselves that way to the American people. Our hardcore fans are some of the best fans in professional football, and our players refer to the fans as the 12th player in the team because the fans give them such a lift, cheering the Dolphins on to victory.
Against the New England Patriots, quarterback David Woodley led a balanced Dolphin attack that generated close to 400 yards of total offense. The Dolphins took a 17-3 lead on a touchdown pass to tight end Dan Johnson, number 87. Then Woodley teamed with Duriel Harris on the longest scoring play of the young season, 64 yards. The 34-24 win marked the 16th straight time the Dolphins have bested the Patriots at home. But over the next few weeks, a pall hung over the Dolphin offense. Miami lost 2 of their next 3, but got a close look at rookie quarterback Dan Marino, who showed flashes of promise in substitute roles in Los Angeles and New Orleans. After a 17-7 loss to the Saints, the Dolphins were last in the league in passing and 23rd in scoring. Don Shula was compelled to make a change. His forces needed a shot in the arm. Shula's decision, go with a rookie. Suddenly, at 22 years of age, Dan Marino was asked to bear the responsibility of reviving the dormant Miami offense. There were skeptics, to be sure. He was only the 6th quarterback taken in the college draft. Things did not begin well. By the second period, Marino had thrown 2 interceptions and was sacked once. The shaky start did not shake Marino's confidence, nor Don Shula's confidence in him. By the second half, patience paid off when number 13 caught fire. With touchdown passes to veteran Nat Moore and to rookie Mark Clayton, Marino had given the Dolphins a dynamic new look. In the third period, 3 newcomers and a veteran teamed up on a flea flicker that went Marino to Tony Nathan to Clayton to Mark Duper for 48 yards. And it was Duper again from Marino for 63 yards.
Marino drops the throw, has time, going deep up the sideline, man down, got it, 30, 25, 20, Duper, they'll never catch him, touchdown!
The Dolphins lost by 3 in overtime, but the sudden impact of Dan Marino resounded through the Orange Bowl. Miami had put 35 points on the board. More than that, they found their quarterback of the future.
Offensively, we had to start putting some points on the board, and no matter who it was playing quarterback, if it was David or me or Don Strock, someone had to be able to move the offense to put the points on the board. And fortunately, I've had some success, and we've been able to score some points and win some games.
2 weeks later, after number 13 teamed with Nat Moore, number 89, in wins over the Colts and the Jets, Dan Marino was leading the AFC in passing, a position he would hold at season's end.
I'm doing something I've always wanted to do since I've been little, and there's not many people in this world today that can say that they've dreamt to do something and they're doing it, and they're actually fulfilling a dream, and I'm real happy about that, and I feel very fortunate. And it's nothing but fun, and playing in front of a lot of people and doing what you love to do has to be fun.
As the Dolphins' offense soared, the defensive secondary of Coach Tom Keene was being challenged. Injuries to 7 linebackers forced a switch from the 3-4 to the 4-3. The move altered the effects of the pass rush and put additional pressure on Miami defensive backs. A preseason injury to cornerback Don McNeil put the heat on his replacement, second-year man William Judson, number 49. Judson responded by setting an NFL record, intercepting 3 New York Jet passes in 1 quarter. Judson went on to become the team leader in interceptions with 6 and was voted the Dolphins' most valuable defensive back. Second to Judson in interceptions, Gerald Small, number 48, who turned in 5 pickoff plays. Then there were the Blackwoods, two splinters off the same plant. Lyle, number 42, and brother Glenn, number 47, combined to steal 7 more passes to help give the Dolphins a team total of 26 interceptions. But this is a unit not merely skilled at tracking down enemy areas. They are a physical bunch who like to dress up on Sunday and put on the hits.
The game of football is just a kid's game, and I think I'm just a grown-up, playing the role of a kid out there, and I love doing it every Sunday. It's a challenge of just facing a team, preparing for them during the week, and trying to, match your skills against their skills and your wits against their wits, and just seeing who had the best game plan, who worked the hardest during the week, and who wants to play and fight the hardest on that particular Sunday.
Bob Brzezinski and A.J. Douay were the leaders of a linebacking corps decimated by injuries. Those called upon to step in include Charles Bowser, number 56, the Dolphins' Rookie of the Year in 1982. With Bowser were rookie Mark Brown, number 51, a 9th-round draft pick, and defensive captain Ernie Roan, number 55. While Terry Tortolo and Rodell Thomas joined Bob Brzezinski, the Dolphins' top linebacker in 1983. In 1984, coaches Chuck Studley and Mo Scarry will refine the work of the departing Bill Arnsparger, who left behind a defense that allowed the fewest points in the NFL. Led by veterans Doug Betters and nose tackle Bob Baumhauer, the Dolphins' pass rush was spiced up by the youngest player in the NFL, massive Mike Charles, number 71. Tim Bocamper, number 58, continued to refine his skills as a down lineman, and the former linebacker has never lost his nose for the football. Playing the game's most demanding position, nose tackle Bob Baumhauer, number 73, earned his 4th trip to the Pro Bowl. Joining Baumhauer in Honolulu was Doug Betters, number 75, voted the NFL's Defensive Player of the Year. Betters was double-teamed on most every play, then responded with his own special brand of waterfront football.
You don't get there unless you're intense about it, and you've got to stay after it. And a lot of times it's not too pretty, but whatever you got to do, you got to just scratch and fight and do whatever you can to get loose.
In the last 10 games of the regular season, Betters and company allowed less than 14 points a game, while the offense continued to gain momentum as the season wore on. In Week 9, the Dolphins got a foothold on first place in the AFC East. The added dimension of running back David Overstreet, number 20, the passing of Dan Marino, and the receiving of Mark Duper carried the Dolphins to a 30-14 win over the playoff-bound Los Angeles Rams. A week later, against NFC Western champion San Francisco, Marino connected often with Nat Moore, number 89, twice for touchdowns, as the Dolphins' 20-17 win secured their lock on first place. After an off year in '82, Nat Moore returned to the form that makes him the Dolphins' all-time leading receiver. While Moore added to his team record, he used his 10 years of NFL experience to help a younger receiver, Mark Duper, number 85. A student of receivers coach Dave Shula as well, Duper did not start until the season's 6th game, but with Olympian speed, he still broke Paul Warfield's record for receiving yards in a season and averaged just under 20 yards a catch. At 5'9", 185 pounds, Duper is tough as a 50-cent steak, and defenders who tried to stop him found they bit off more than they could chew.
Gets in behind anybody. It's Katie bar the door. He runs the 40 in 4.25. Was a member of that Northwestern Louisiana State NCAA national champion 440-yard relay team a couple of years ago. Was the Dolphins' second-round draft choice. I think he's probably won himself a job.
You only got one chance to make a great first impression. Number 85 did just that in '83. Other great first impressions were made by rookie Reggie Roby, who averaged over 43 yards per punt and frequently got a boost from the Dolphins Special Teams Player of the Year, rookie Robert Sowell, number 45. Third-year specialist Fulton Walker, number 41, continued to improve and led the NFL in kickoff returns. His longest, a 78-yarder against the New York Jets. Also making an impact on Coach Bob Matheson's special team was Mark Clayton, number 83, who led the team in punt returns in his rookie season. Defense, offense, special teams. In every area, the Dolphins boast both experience and youth. Much of the Dolphins' offensive turnaround can be attributed to the men in the trenches, the offensive line. Center Dwight Stevenson and guards Ed Newman and Bob Kuchenberg all made the Pro Bowl, while tackle Eric Latzo played well enough to be there. John Giesler, Cleveland Green, Jeff Taves, and Roy Foster round out this veteran unit, skilled in the ways of hand-to-hand combat. Line coach John Sandusky and strength coach Junior Wade both helped mold this line that helped beat the Baltimore Colts 37-0. Then geared up to face the Cincinnati Bengals on a Monday night in November. All the Dolphins did was score 38 points against the #1 defense in the NFL. Fullback Andra Franklin joined Tony Nathan, number 22, to help bury the Bengals 38-14. Tony Nathan combines the power and speed of a runner who can carry defenders with him or leave them behind. In 1983, Tony Nathan averaged 4.5 yards per carry and added a team-leading 52 pass receptions. In the season's 14th week, Nathan's 118 total yards helped fuel a come-from-behind victory in Houston, and the win clinched another division title for the Dolphins. On the downside, a knee injury sidelined Dan Marino for the remainder of the regular season. While the loss of a Dan Marino would hurt most teams, the Dolphins summoned the game's premier reliever, veteran Don Strock. As cool as the other side of a pillow, Strock's history of substitute heroics was enhanced in the season's final 2 contests. Strock stepped in against the Atlanta Falcons to complete 18 of 22 passes. In the 31-24 win, the Dolphins' running attack, directed by Carl Tassif, was again bolstered by first-year Dolphin David Overstreet, number 20.
Overstreet around the left side, gets the corner turn, 10, 5, back to his right, still thinking, goes in for the touchdown.
In the regular season finale against the New York Jets, Don Shula got a good look at the future as David Overstreet continued his late season surge. Mark Duper chimed in with another scoring pass from Strock. Then, in a span of 61 seconds, Mike Kozlowski intercepted 2 passes for touchdown.
They're after him. He fires in the middle. This one's intercepted. 35, 30, another touchdown. Kozlowski, 2 intercepts, 2 touchdowns, and the Dolphins have busted this one wide, smack dab open.
For the 11th time under Don Shula, the Dolphins finished first in the AFC East. Shula has set nothing short of a winning example in his 14 years in Miami.
I just believe that if you live your own life in such a way that if people are looking for example, that there's an example there that they can follow. And this is what I try to do without really trying to pour myself or force myself on anybody. I also like to try to do things with as much class and with as much dignity as I can lend to them. The fact that you can accomplish within the rules is the most important thing, and it can be done with some class.
The Dolphins will win with class, with men like Dan Marino, a bright young quarterback who is just beginning to master his trade. This is a team saturated with veterans residing in their peak years. It is a team rich with young talent who helped turn the Miami offense around in 1983. While most teams rise and fall like ships at sea, the Dolphins remain anchored at the top. Indeed, 1983 was yet another year of triumph for the Miami Dolphins, a team with a future as bright as their past.